The channel. My name is Lisa Elvin Stoltari, and I am a genealogist and a passionate traveler. Over the last several years, I have been focusing my attention on les filles du roi, the king's daughters of Quebec, of New France, and les filles mariées, the marriageable girls of New France. Today we're going to be looking at les filles du roi, episode 284. Unbelievable that we've achieved that level. I think there are about 700 of them, so we've got a ways to go. But before we begin, let me show you ways you can support the channel. The first three are very important because they keep you in the know and it kind of ties you in. So you've got your subscribe, you've got your notify, and you've got your like. All of that doesn't cost you a penny. Now, to really support the channel, we do have external platforms that will permit you to donate if you wish on either a monthly or a one-time only. And you can have a look at those in the notes if you want to check that out. That is always appreciated. Thank you so much for those of you who have done so already. With that being said, let's get started and let's look at episode number 284. Today's episode is Anne Pineau, dite Vieville. That's a big long name. Now, Pineau can be spelled in that way, or you can add an L and a T to it. There are many variations, but I'm going with the one that is in the Peter J. Gagne series of books. So let's get to know Anne a little bit better. So Anne was born in 1650 in Paris, France. Her parents were Jacques Pineau and Anne Leclerc. Now, she would have been baptized in the Church of Saint Eustache, which is a church found in the first arrondissement of Paris. The present building dates from between 1532 and 1632. To give you an idea of the size of this church, in 2019, the Easter Mass at Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris was relocated to Saint Eustache after the Notre Dame in Paris fire. Now, the first of Paris is one of the most central arrondissements on the historic heart of Paris. It includes in particular one of the oldest districts of the city, which dates back from the very beginning of the Middle Ages. And you can see as well, the Louvre is found here as well. She would come to Canada on board the ship Le Jean-Baptiste, and she would arrive here August 15th, 1671. She carried with her a dowry worth about 300 pounds, which is pretty impressive actually for that time. The groom that she selected and who selected her, his name Gilles Gaudreau, and he was born in 1644 in Laforest, which is found in Ile-de-Ré. And he would have been baptized at the St. Catherine Church of this particular commune at Ile-de-Ré. His parents were Jean Gaudreau and Marie Roulet. The St. Catherine Church was built in the 15th century, and Ile-de-Ré is an island off the coast of La Rochelle. It dates from the 7th and 8th century. Throughout its history, it's been ruled by both France and England, and has also been part of the Huguenot conflicts of France. Today, the population is about 17,000 people. A bridge was built in 1987 connecting it to the mainland. Can you imagine what that must have been like to finally have that bridge? As you can imagine, this is a major tourist attraction, and there are an incredible amounts of historical monuments to visit. When I looked at it, I truly saw a slice of paradise. So Gilles would come to New France as a contracted employee. In 1665, he arrived. He can be found in the 1666 census as a domestic for Jacques Bernier. And again in the 1667 census, he's still with Jacques Bernier. And he's basically doing his time and earning his freedom and his ability to stay in New France, because once he's completed his terms, he would have acquired money and he would have been able to purchase land and get ready to possibly get married. And now we'll see who he marries. So 6 years after he arrives in New France, Gilles is ready to take on a bride. And so he does on October 15th, 1671, at the Church of Sainte Famille on the island of Orleans. The family would settle on Ile d'Orléans, or the island of Orleans, which is located about 3 miles east of downtown Quebec City. The island was one of the very first parts of the province to be inhabited by the French, and a large percentage of Quebecois, French Canadians, can trace their ancestry to the early residents of the island. And it really is an incredible place when you visit it. These pictures I took the last summer, and that I took 2023 when I was on the island. It was just an amazing place. It just has this hold on me. It was originally named, it wasn't always Ile d'Orléans. Originally it was named things like the Grande Ile, which means Big Island, Sainte Marie, or Saint Laurent, Saint Lawrence. But eventually they changed it to honor the son of King Francis II, who happened to be the Duke of Orleans, Henry II. So this is an island that you can clearly see is subdivided into 6 portions. And it's kind of important to know which section of the island your early inhabitants, your early ancestors might have inhabited. Now, Saint-Famille was the first one, and many people stayed there. But eventually they would go to Saint-François on the tip of the island, Saint-Jean, right next to Saint-Famille. And then we have Saint-Laurent, Saint-Pétronille, and Saint-Pierre. So these are all areas that you may find your ancestor, because each of them has their own church. So it's important for you to verify that information. And they would eventually move to Cap-Saint-Ignace, which was founded in 1672 and was actually created out of multiple land grants from Jean Talon. 5 different seigneuries were created that eventually formed Cap-Saint-Ignace. Oh, where does the name Cap-Saint-Ignace come from? A small cape forming a peninsula in the river is the origin of this name, Cap. As for Saint Ignatius, it seems that this name was given by the Jesuits in honor of their founder. I was able to find the pioneers of this particular region, and there is our Gilles Gaudreau. This is one in the middle. You have an example of a very old, one of the oldest buildings in Cap-Saint-Ignace. We have an aerial view. We also have the wonderful windmill that is there, or the flour mill, I should say, and of course the road sign that I was able to take as we were driving quickly through much of Quebec last summer. They would go on to have 6 children. Anne would marry Pierre Cahouette and would have 15 children, 9 of whom survived and 7 who left descendants. Then we have Gilles Gabriel, who would marry Elisabeth Dominico and would have 10 children, 5 of whom made it to adulthood. Elizabeth's mother was a fille du roi Marie Charpentier, who we featured in a previous episode. I'll do the link for you in the notes section. Marguerite would marry Jacques Marchand and would have 4 children, 2 of whom would survive. Michel would pass away at 20. Jeanne would marry François Boucher and would have 6 children, 3 of whom would make it to adulthood. And their youngest son, Jacques, would also die in 1699. That was a particularly rough year for them. Normally at this point, I am able to find the 1681 census. I was not able to find the family in the 1681 census. If any of you have that information, please share with me. I spent a lot of time going up and down and up and down. I was not able to find it. Would pass away sometime between 1714 and 1716. She would have been about 65 years old. She and Gilles would have been married an astonishing 43 years. She would leave us 46 descendants as of 1729, and her line truly lives on, as the viewer who requests is a testament to that. So Gilles would go on to marry Catherine Renousseau about 1716, but she would also pass away 3 years later. Gilles would end up would end up dying at the incredible age of 82. As many of you know, if there's a family association, I love to be able to feature it. And they do have les familles Gaudreau, and that is definitely something to check out if this is your line. So in the fabulous series of books called Our French-Canadian Ancestors, this one is volume 21. We find Gilles Gaudreau's biography in there. Those of you who are able to access those books, that's great. If not, there is a resource for you. It's on Facebook. Our Free French-Canadian Ancestors have each of these files and very easy to be able to download. So have a look at that particular resource. If you cannot find that volume anywhere in the library or Family History Center, that sort of thing, check out our Free French-Canadian Ancestors Facebook page. And when you go on the island, and I say when, not if, because you really do have to go, you will find this incredible memorial. This is a picture I took. And I was able to kind of zero in on each of the letters so that later on I could show you your ancestor. And that is what we have here in Gaudreau. And then we have Anne Pineau, our fille du roi. So there you have a final and lasting tribute to this pioneering couple. I hope you enjoyed this story of Anne. I think that it was really a love story, and I really appreciated being able to tell it. They were a wonderful couple, and I'm really always amazed by the perseverance and the dedication and the courage that these ladies did. So we want to thank Anne Pineau, dite Vieville, and her husband, Gilles Gaudreau. We want to say thank you for contributing to the tapestry that is, New France and ultimately North America. Thank you, Anne. You are remembered, you are blessed, and we honor your memory. And I also want to say thank you to my patrons and supporters. Your constant encouragement of me is something I never take for granted. Thank you so much to all of you who have been subscribing and supporting and patrons. All of it matters. Thank you so much. And with that, I will see you on the next episode of Les Filles du Roi, number 285. Until then, au revoir.